Tēnā koutou katoa. Ko wera me polani whakapaparanga mai. Engari,
Tēnā
ko ahi
koutou
te reria
katoa.
te whenua tupu.
Ko Palani me
Ko
ina
tāmaki
rangi
makaurau
me
te
tia
kāinga.
mana whakapaparanga
Ko te
mai.
pane o mataahau te maunga.
Engari, ko ahi
Me
te
toru aki
reria
tamariki.
te whenua
Ko
tupu.
Amelia au.
Ko tāmaki makaurau te
Amelia.
kāinga. Ko te tātua a rui ki uta te maunga. Ko Amanda aho.
In te ao Māori, the Māori worlding here in Aotearoa, as far as I understand, when you introduce yourself, you begin with where you're from, your whakapapa, your ancestors. And also the whenua, the land, what grounds you. This is so that you can make connections with others before you even give your name, before you materialize as an individual. Amanda and I arrived at this moment in time via different Polish ancestors, via families that wandered across the earth through Australia, until finally we met here on this land in Aotearoa and within the world of creative arts therapy. We now stand at either end of a time tunnel. I'm stepping into academic worlding, and Amanda has just retired as head of school. So we stole 3 days, and we headed for the sea, an estuary, and an old cottage. And there we set an intention to open up our rib cases, setting our insides outside, disassembling and being witnessed doing so. When we arrived, something occurred that felt a little like ritual, but much more like coming into relation with the land. Aboriginal scholar Tyson Yunkaporta speaks of relationality in beautiful ways. We breathed with branches that breathed with us, and we ever so gratefully stepped into nature and began, with no idea what might unfold before or between us. In her book, Doppelganger, Naomi Klein says, "No one makes themselves. We all make and unmake one another."
There is something magical as an adult to find people one can play with, to feel safe enough to be fully engaged and present and embodied, to be spontaneous and improvisational, to be silly and serious, to try things out, to be surprised and to make mistakes. In the play space, everything is allowed and accepted as part of the play. Being witnessed and witnessing is a key aspect when video and photographs come into the play. One can be witnessed, and on viewing the videos and photos, one can witness oneself and make sense of the choices made, and fall in love with one's own movement as a true expression of oneself in that moment. The relationship to one's playmates is full of sensitive attunement and stimulation for new possibilities and creative sympoiesis. When play occurs in nature, all the elements of nature become partners in the play. Wind, sky, clouds, trees, grass, sand, rock. The estuary.
Migratory birds.
The estuary.
Migratory birds.
Mirror twins flow the estuary.
Many different ways. Migratory birds.
Mirror twins
Dissociate.
flow. Dissolve,
Many
dissolve,
different ways.
dissolve.
We fly in one direction. Dissociate.
Dissolve,
Merge.
dissolve. We merge,
Fly in one
we
direction.
disperse. We come back.
We come
We
back.
merge, we disperse.
Resuscitate.
Resuscitate.
Come back. Come back.
Come back. Emerge. Emerge. Resuscitate.
Flock. Come back. Flocking.
Emerge.
Wandering.
Emerge.
Flock. Flocking.
Wandering. recognizing the seduction of the merge for me, of attuning and connecting and losing my edges.
What we began to notice was the combination of a few key ingredients: nature, time, someone to witness, and the safety to play facilitated the conditions for sympoiesis to begin to happen in an ongoing, synchronistic way. We would find a new place that felt okay to move in, that we felt had gifted us permission to spend time in, and we just began to play, often with our eyes closed and often with eerie synchronicity. We became attuned to one another, and the tension of the world and our individual pain fell away, just for a moment or two. It began to heal hurt places and reassemble new ways of being.
Both flick.
Okay. Sit.
Stop laughing.
It's been enjoyable over the last few days to hear that you have witnessed and are exploring my strength. So I wanted to go further into that by just pushing that immovable tree trunk as hard as I could. It felt beautiful to get as much as my force out as possible in complete safety, because I knew it wouldn't move and I was on soft sand. Just feeling everything inside me fusing into the tree as I pushed it, everything I had, and I could feel its immovable resistance. And then as I started to climb, and I was wearing these black clothes, I began to feel like a panther or the wolf that I've been traveling with recently, and just loving that animalistic, totally alone feeling. It felt lovely and such a release to be able to be totally creative. It began to get quite raw and strong and exploring feminine and masculine energies. And I was called down to the water and just felt that freedom to move. And it was just really delightful to be full-bodied animal.
When I started with the spinning, and I thought, oh, am I going to get really dizzy? Yes, but I need to spin until I'm not in control anymore. And it's that making strange. It's like entering that liminal space where I've spun and spun and spun, and now I'm somewhere else. And then I just got into it. Was partly I started with that strength thing, and then I got into grotesque. I got into making shapes that were kind of odd and ugly and weird, and it was really interesting. Like, it just felt really like, oh, I don't want to be graceful, I don't want to be nice, you know what I mean? I just want to be ugly. And then I got into this sort of more yelling and, just like similar to you, just feeling myself free to push past all the expectations and see what happened. And then I got kind of loose in my running, and then the garment made me feel like I had wings, and then I felt like a crow or something, eagle, crow, something, swooping around, and that felt great. And then I just came to the water, and that was like that comfort, that washing clean.
For me, it was just an immense sense of gratitude and a real awareness that we're about to step off this ride, step out of the liminal space and back into the everyday and the reality of lives, and that sort of waiting over there. And this was the last moment it really settled. There was a lot, all of the going on, all of the play, all of the change and alchemy that's happened. This felt like this cauldron or this hug of trees that just stirred it. I threw it out to the sea took it from me. I was just able to throw it, bathe my hands in this wet grass. I just sort of was able to leave shit here and allow it.
I felt when I came into this circle of trees, I could really feel them all connected to each other. Like, I know that cognitively, but somehow I felt it, and I could look through and kind of make through lines to the family of trees. It's a huge whānau in this park of Aotearoa trees that are all about the same age, and some of them are living closer to the ocean water, some of them are in the middle in here in the parked area, and some of them are over by the estuary. They each have their own area, but they're all connected to each other. And I could just, in my imagination, feel that I was trying to honour all the through lines to each direction. And then towards the end, I just wanted to breathe in as much of their oxygen as I could and breathe out as much of my carbon dioxide to really feel the exchange with them. It was really profound, in a way I haven't felt before. That, I've danced in trees, but I really felt like I was with the trees. And it was a prayer.
This kind of cultural humility is a useful exercise in understanding your role as an agent of sustainability in a complex system. It is difficult to relinquish the illusions of power and delusions of exceptionalism that come with privilege, but it is strangely liberating to realize your true status as a single node in a cooperative network. There is honor to be found in this role, and a certain dignified agency. You won't be swallowed up by a hive mind or lose your individuality. You will retain your autonomy, while simultaneously being profoundly interdependent and connected. In fact, sustainable systems cannot function without the full autonomy and unique expression of each independent part of the interdependent whole.
Notes on a phone. Fucking digital brains suck. Feels like rough, meaningless sex compared to yesterday. I was nature's lover, and she was mine. I took the earth as my lover, and she continuously took my breath away. I ache to sink back into the earth, come with my back against a riverbank. Today I'm back in a digital nightmare, and I miss my lover. The shiver of delight as my hand skimmed the still dew-wet blades of grass. The erotic pulse as I tread cold water, heart racing, arms shivering, breathing hard. I was alive, and I felt wanted. I wept with gratitude as I contemplated the bigness of how she held my grief. I shed what I no longer needed, and she devoured it greedily. She wants for nothing but caress and respect. The earth is my lover, and she holds my secrets.